Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 challenge run. That's right, we are doing a challenge run today, and I'm going to be revisiting a challenge that has previously defeated me. During my random runs, when I have been using random weapons with every character, we've come across a couple combos that are incredibly weak, and one of them was Engineer with Hammer. Hammer has almost no synergy with Engineer's kit. It obviously doesn't scale off of engineering at all, and the reduced damage modifications for the hammers mean that they will not be producing any wave clear at all. It's also a level 2 weapon, so you can't easily build them up, and you're going to be spending a lot of money buying hammers in order to actually get your synergy tags and so on online. It does have some things that go for it. For one, you get 150% damage scaling from melee damage, so the amount of damage that you need, even though it's reduced by 50%, is only sort of 75% of what a normal character would need to reach a 100% damage scaling weapon, but its very, very slow attack speed definitely makes that painful in return. And you also get the blunt and heavy weapon tags, so that gives us a little bit more damage, although again that is reduced by our damage modification reduction. And the blunt weapon tag gives us some HP and armor, which we'll badly need in order to survive. I think that the strategy here is going to be to try to get wave clear up into the mid game and then just build pure defense with the blunt weapon tag and just try to survive the end game to see if we can make this work. But we'll just have to adapt and see sort of what the game throws at me as I go. I'm gonna have to sell out of this wrench immediately, because obviously that's not in the spirit of the challenge if we keep the wrench. But it will at least give us some additional income in the early game, especially since we got a little bit lucky and the turret spawned in the middle, so it's going to help us actually clear a lot of enemies. So we ended up with 56 materials with 4 on the ground, which is pretty good for our early game income. I'll take 5 harvesting here, because getting that going early will help a lot, I think. And then this is a gift. Finding a fertilizer will be a big deal moving forwards and is going to help maintain our income despite our extremely poor wave clear, which we're going to be suffering from. So we'll take that. I'm going to sell out of the wrench just to make sure we're following the rules of the challenge, and then roll. I will buy heavy weapons if I see them, just because I think that, or blunt weapons if I see them, just because we won't be able to just have one weapon up until we can start buying more hammers. So I'm going to buy stuff like rocks just to make sure that we can actually kill some enemies, but I don't think that keeping the wrench is in the spirit of the challenge. Definitely buy another rock, and then I will lock a lumberjack shirt. This will make it a little easier for us to kill trees and so on. Our damage in the early game should be fine, because we have rocks and hammers, both of which have great base damage, so even with our damage penalty, we should be doing okay. We also only lost half a melee damage for buying the fertilizer. Having bought the fertilizer definitely puts us in a much better spot in this game. I wish I'd managed to kill that last pod of enemies. This is really interesting. Do I take 6 HP or do I take 5 harvesting? I think I'm going to take the 5 harvesting. I could take the level 2 upgrade, of course, but if we can get to 22 harvesting by the end of wave 2, like if I had found another harvesting in this shop, then we'd be growing by 2 per wave, which would be excellent. I could roll for it. I could also just take 2 flat melee damage, which would be pretty nice as well, or 5 luck. It's pretty painful to roll away from a level 2 melee damage upgrade, but I think getting the harvesting online is so valuable that I'm going to roll for it and then roll again. And we got extremely rewarded and got a level 2 harvesting upgrade. Alright, so things are going okay. Let's see if we can make it work. I'm going to roll for more weapons. We're going to try to go with get our blunt weapon tag online just to make sure that we can find more hammers. I'm going to skip the spiky shield. It just doesn't do as much damage as the rock, so we want weapons that actually will help us clear without having to build other stats. Obviously, we're going to need to increase our movement speed as well. I'll be selling out of these rocks, of course, in the mid-game once we actually get hammers, but I think this is well within the spirit of the challenge to be buying other blunt weapons. Rock does have the advantage of being cheap, so it lets us get our weapon tags online without having to spend too much. Currently have no regeneration, which I definitely need, though the the locked lemonade that we have will help as well. I'm going to take attack speed. This is going to scale our attacks a lot. And also, we will buy constructs as we see them, because we're still the engineer. And if we find improved tools, then that can help those go off. I could also roll for luck or harvesting, but since we already have 30 harvesting, we much less need to roll for those things. We'll buy these 2 items and then roll, and we'll finish out our weapon set, and then I will roll. And then, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to take the flamethrower here, although that would be pretty nice. But I think I will just buy the duct tape. Armor's going to be really important, and the engineering is nice as well. And then I will roll one more time and lock a lost duck, because luck will also be very helpful. Alright, so we're looking for movement speed, we're looking for construct, just to help us with mid-game wave clear, especially a level 2 turret, an Inferno turret, would be really useful. Because that is typically just very good wave clear, even on sort of non-engineering builds, and this build will have a lot of engineering incidentally, just from being the engineer and getting improved engineering scaling, starting with a bunch. Can we get this tree? That's also part of why I went out of my way to grab Lumberjack shirt, because we'll take Pocket Factory if we see it. Even though I do want luck, I think it's too important to increase our speed. -10 is just so painful, so I'm going to grab that. And then here I'm just going to repair my luck by taking that immediately. Then probably just grab more harvesting rather than spend money on re-rolling. I will also buy the Lost Duck, and the metal detector should be good as well. I'm trying to decide if I'm allowed to upgrade these rocks. I think we are, at least until we find enough hammers. And then we will, we'll obviously switch, but rock is basically a hammer, right? It's just a, especially with the art, it's just a rock on a stick. Of course, as we switch into hammers, we're going to lose maximum HP because rock has the bonus health and armor that you get from the actual rocks, as well as the primitive weapon tag, so we'll need to be aware of that. It would be funny if we just never find a hammer and end up just with a pure rock engineer. I'll take the 9% dodge. We're going to want to build dodge in the end game anyways, so we'll just get that going immediately. We'll take the Lost Duck here and then roll. I will definitely take Broken Mouth. I think Ugly Tooth will be quite helpful as well, and we'll continue to upgrade our rocks. And then here we go. We got the Incendiary Turret, so that's going to be a big deal. That will help with our wave clear a lot. And then do I want to reroll? I think not. Spending 11 on trying to find a hammer or a rock doesn't seem very good in this spot. Still one-shotting enemies at the moment, but that's going to stop pretty quickly once, because our damage is not scaling and the enemy health scales pretty rapidly at this stage in the game. Already you can see we're starting to have trouble just clearing enemies as they get to us. Because of our very poor attack speed, so that's something that I need to remedy as well as our bad damage if I want to maintain any form of wave clear. But I will very happily take 15% attack speed. That will be a big help to us. And then here I have to take the movement speed, I think. I could grab regeneration or armor as well. Those would both be very useful, but I think if we don't get movement speed, we will never be able to win this run. We'll take the bag, we'll take the Incendiary Turret, we'll take the lemonade, and I will roll. And then, do I take this? So it's 6% damage, which is not a ton, but it's pretty cheap. So I think we will take it. I'll lock this, and then we'll just go to the next wave. I am going to have to get enough damage that my weapon attacks actually do kill stuff, so I do need to spend some on weapon damage. We are not going to have the damage to kill the slashers easily, so I'm going to try to break the eggs. Although, because the hammer hits pretty hard, we can do it sometimes. But the Inferno turret's going to be worth a lot of money for us. You can see it's already generated like 25 materials just by killing enemies, because we can play on the other side of the map from it, and it hits stuff that we aren't ourselves hitting. Move over there and pick up those materials before the end of the wave. Definitely taking a metal plate. We'll grab that for sure. And then, ooh, this is really interesting. Do I just want attack speed, or do I want harvesting? I think we want harvesting. I think it's still early enough that the harvesting is still pretty valuable. Buy that, and still no rocks. I don't think we want glass cannon. I think we're just gonna, or still no hammers. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna buy this rock, and then combine, and then now we can finally start buying more hammers. I'll also buy the pencil, I think. Just a little bit of incidental engineering is still reasonable, and this is a level 1 item that we don't have in case we roll fairy, which is always worth keeping in mind. Dangerous bunny, yes. Do I want white flag? Do I want bean teacher? I think we do want bean teacher, because we're about to go into wave 9, so the 40% XP gain is going to be pretty big. White flag, I don't think we're going to take. Need to play on the other side of the map from my incendiary turret so that it can help with our wave clear properly. Our armor is very good right now, at least. This is still gonna be an extremely difficult run, and you can see why now that we're no longer one-shotting enemies. It's very hard for us not to take incidental damage, and our wave clear is pretty slow. Is there any chance we can kill this loot alien? I think so, even with the extreme knockback of our weapons. If we pin it against the wall, then we should be able to get it. The fact that we found fertilizer and bag is very helpful. I'll definitely take landmines. That'll help with wave clear, and then I want regeneration, but 15 luck is just too good to pass up. We'll take the bean teacher. We'll take the dangerous bunny. I'm going to pass on the acid here. I will roll. And I'm definitely going to take a lure. Obviously, we want regeneration and we want loot aliens, and leather vest will be great as well. Shackles, I don't think we can afford to take, or even lock, because I don't think my speed is going to get high enough before I would buy the shackles. So while I obviously want those stats, other than the range, which we don't really care about, the capping our speed at -4 would be too painful. And even if I find like a 9% speed upgrade, that would still cap our speed at 5%. We will need movement speed in order to survive the elite waves later on, because we're just not going to have the damage to kill them, I don't think. Oh, we got both loot aliens over here. Can I either push them into my incendiary turret or pin them against the wall? That's what we need to do in order to clear them. Although, as you can see, I'm starting to take incidental damage a lot because we don't have the damage to kill all the aliens. But our incendiary turret is doing a ton of work out here, so very happy about that. Having found that, honestly, is one of the things that's making this build work at all. We would not have anywhere near the income that we have right now without it. I think it's been worth like a couple hundred materials already. Yeah, so we actually made pretty good money in Wave 9, which mostly like 500 in Wave 9 is a pretty good income rate, and we're definitely going above par for that thanks to our very high harvesting and very high, and the incendiary turret. The bean teacher also paying for itself with 3 levels, which is nice. Take that. I am going to take the gambling token. We have 11 armor already, and dodge is going to be pretty important to us. I'll take the attack speed, and the movement speed, and the attack speed. Alright, well that definitely helped. Let's see if we can continue to make decent money. We'll take the metal detector, we'll take the leather vest, we'll take the gentle alien. Gentle alien could be a mistake, because our wave clear is definitely going to be a problem later on, but I think we can make it work. Alright, Pocket Factory and Turret are great finds. Also, now that we've found more hammers, I'm going to stop buying rocks. I think We're no longer in the it's okay to buy rocks stage of the run here. Sunglasses is a damage stat that isn't halved by our engineer's damage, because crit chance is actually pretty good, and hammers have 1.75 times crit, which is pretty high, so we can do that. It's worse for rocks, which only have 1.5x, but I think that the sunglasses are actually worth picking up. Rocks also have a pretty decent base critical hit chance, which is something that you don't really notice about them, but with only 9% crit, we have 29% crit on the level 3 rocks. So while they don't crit very hard, they do actually crit pretty frequently. But that's one way to increase our attack damage. Like, attack speed and critical hit chance increase our attack damage without the engineer's penalty. I guess the turret isn't that important because we have the engineer ability where all our constructs spawn in the same spots, which is actually a kind of significant downside for this style of engineering build where it's not our main wave clear. Because we'd rather they spawn all over the map and hit things that we're not ourselves attacking, as well as breaking trees and stuff for us. I now need to focus on some regeneration, because we are really starting to suffer in terms of maintaining our health. Gonna recycle the padding, and then I probably have to take 4 regeneration here. I could grab luck, I could grab damage, but I think we need to start building healing, and we need to start building more armor. Let's grab the Schmoop. This cost me 1 melee damage, but HP and HP regeneration are both really important, and I will take my reroll here. I could take explosion size for our landmines and for any level 4 turrets we might happen to find, but I think that's too much to spend on something that we don't know we're going to get much value out of. Take the fertilizer for sure. Broken mouth I will take as well. Still not finding any hammers, which does feel a little bad for this character, honestly. Rip and Tear is interesting, so that's based on our melee damage, which obviously is low, but does give us a pretty decent amount of additional wave clear, so now I'm wishing I'd taken the explosion size, but I do think that Rip and Tear will actually be good for us, and we'll take the recycling machine, and I will lock these 2 items as well. But the Rip and Tear should help with the Horde wave as well, so that's part of why I took it. And the enemies will explode even if we don't kill them ourselves. Like, if our turrets kill them, they'll still explode. It's not a lot of damage, but every little bit counts when we're sort of struggling for wave clear like we are. So now I'm looking for dodge, I'm looking for max HP. I'm looking for more hammers. That would actually improve our wave clear a lot if we got more hammers. As well as, of course, we have to buy them because it's the challenge that we're playing. More critical hit chance would be kind of nice. A tree would be pretty nice as well, just to power up our pocket factory a little bit. Yeah, we're starting to really suffer in terms of taking hits, but at least we made a lot of money that wave. We'll recycle bat here. I'm going to take more harvesting, I think. No, I should roll for better stats here. I guess I'll just take armor. And then this is a gift, the 5 regeneration. That is going to be huge for us. Tree is also really nice. In fact, all of these items are great. We're going to take all of them. And then roll. Clover, more luck and more dodge, definitely. And compass cost me crit chance, but the movement speed's really important, and the engineering isn't bad. Crown. Will we benefit from Crown? I think we will, so I'll take Crown and Shady Potion. We'll just lock here. I need to remember that we've got the Lampreys coming, so I want to not take too much damage from them. I'm trying to pull them back over here towards our turrets so that our engineering weapons can take them out for me. I've tried this run twice already and failed both times, but I have kind of a good feeling about this one. I guess we'll see. I definitely need to fix my healing. But we've got a lot of the tools that I think you need, like Ugly Tooth, like Rip and Tear, like the very early harvesting that we got, obviously. Pocket Factory and the Incendiary Turret as well, just to give us some actual wave clear. Alright, up to 600. I'm going to recycle the boiling water. We'll take the dangerous bunny. That'll save us money. And I will take 15 luck as well. That's one of our main ways to heal right now is the luck, especially because I'm about to buy Shady Potion. So it's pulls double duty for us. Plastic Explosive. Now that I have the Rip and Tear, I'll take it, because that's what Rip and Tear mostly scales off of. And then I guess I will again take a metal detector. How much money have these been worth? 196? Yeah, so the metal detectors have been pretty good. We'll take that. We'll definitely take Alien Magic. I'm going to throw in one more reroll because they only cost 18. And Baby Elephant, because we have very high luck, is actually a pretty good source of damage for us. So I'm going to pick that up. We'll take the Plastic Explosive. I'm, again, not going to buy more rocks. I'm really wishing that we could find more hammers. It's going to feel pretty bad if I do the Engineer Hammer challenge and finish the game with, like, one hammer. Alright, so my HP is starting to decrease, and we're really starting to get in trouble in terms of healing. Even with our relatively high luck giving us more consumables, our very low regeneration is not up to the task of keeping us alive right now. I feel like that tree didn't give me a consumable, or maybe I took a hit at the same time, but I don't think I gained HP off that tree. Alright, so that was a pretty bad wave for us. I will take this, I think, just even any more attack speed is good. But is it worth 83? Yeah, 10% is probably worth 83. And then here, I'd probably just take more armor. Obviously, there's other stats that would be better for us, but armor's just going to be so valuable. We'll take this, and then roll. And then roll. And then, ooh, a minigun. I'm going to take the Cyclops Worm. And Terrified Onion I would like, I think, but yeah, I'm going to lock it. It cost me some luck, but our movement speed is quite low right now. Alright, this is where we could really get into trouble. There's going to be a lot of the goobers on the map, and our attacks aren't strong enough to kill them. And our regeneration is not yet high enough to keep me alive through it, so I need to be really careful here. Wave 14 is going to be a tough one. At least the Rip and Tear explosions are doing some damage. And we've got pretty good armor, so even though I'm constantly taking hits, it's because it's basically impossible not to on a horde on wave 14 with low attack speed and everything. At least the individual hits aren't hitting that hard, but I also just left a lot of materials on the ground, but I don't think there was a way around that. We'll take the Incendiary Turret. I think I will just take the Ritual when it only costs 100, because 3% damage is still pretty worth it. And then here, I probably just have to take the regeneration. It cost me speed, but I'm about to buy more speed. We'll take 20 luck, because it's a level 4 upgrade. We'll take the Terrified Onion here. Wheat gives me better damage on the Rip and Tears, and a little more harvesting, but it's very expensive. I think we're going to pass on it. We don't have a form of piercing, or it might be useful to buy the pumpkin. Let's roll again. Hey, we got a hammer, so we'll combine and buy a hammer, because we have to do that. And this at least hits pretty hard, the level 3 hammer. And then I'm also going to pick up the medical turret and the duct tape. Medical turret's going to be a great way to try to stay alive as well. And then we'll pick up this and this next wave. Got the perfect amount of HP. Even with 2 plastic explosives, the rip and tear explosions are not that large, but they're definitely contributing. We have to be pretty aggressive about picking up materials this wave, because I left so many on the ground last wave. You don't want to get into a death spiral where you are carrying them over wave to wave and there's too many for you to actually pick up. So now I need dodge, I need move speed, I need regeneration. I think at this point we've gotten as much wave clear as we're kind of going to realistically get, and just by sort of upgrading our hammers and stuff, we'll get a little more, but I'm not going to focus too hard on damage. I'm going to focus much more on getting additional defenses online. We'll take the small magazine. It cost me 3% damage, but 10% attack speed is still pretty valuable, so we're just going to take that, recycle the peacock at this point, and then I will take the level 3 melee damage. It's good for rip and tear. It's good for just our actual attacks. Let's re-roll this, and then here we'll take 4 regeneration. Tree and alien magic. I'd love to find a fairy. That would be a pretty big deal, but we'll buy stuff like mushrooms just because we need the health regen. Baby gecko could be pretty useful. Do I pick that up? I think not. I think we need to be still more disciplined about that. I will take the sad tomato. As long as we have enough regeneration to heal back to full, this will just be good for us, and we've got 30 already. We don't have any elemental damage, and it's very hard for us to build elemental damage, so it's not a strange book build. But I think it might still be a metal detector build. And then I will roll again. Regeneration potion is a gift here. That is an incredible find. That's going to help keep us alive. And then the garden will also be very good. I guess I'll take the propeller hat first and lock the garden, because I think I'll be able to survive wave 16. And then the garden will be very helpful for the elite wave. Garden also very nice for our sad tomato, because it gets us back to full health from the sad tomato damage faster, as is the medical turret. I think it's tempting when you look at sad tomato to go, well, it costs me 40 health and it will not regenerate 40 health over the course of the wave, so it's worthless. And I think that's the wrong way to look at it, because health regeneration compounds on itself. It's about trying to regenerate back to not getting one shot in between each hit. So having faster regeneration but lower health is like overall better, because you can regenerate back to full. And also, anytime you're at full health, you have all this regeneration stat that's not doing anything. So starting at half health, it makes that come online earlier. Do I want the lifesteal and the bonus enemies from Mouse? I guess I do. The lifesteal obviously is not important, but I think we'll make good money off that. And having more enemies to drop consumables and stuff in the boss waves, I think could be really important. We'll take the regeneration potion, we'll take the garden, we will roll. Alright, plasma sledgehammer. Obviously a sledgehammer is a hammer, so we're going to buy that. And then, I don't even think it's better than our actual hammers, but I think it's correct to buy it there. But I will take the campfire here for now that we've got a plasma sledgehammer. We're going to pick that up and we'll lose some speed. And then we are going to take the compass to gain that speed back, and the weird food as well. I really want to boost my dodge, but we haven't been offered any dodge in a long time. I don't think we're going to be able to kill the elite, because our actual attack damage is very low, so I'm just going to move away from it. Very important in this game to identify whether you can fight an elite early, and decide whether you're going to fight it or not right away, rather than change postures in the middle, because if you do that, you can really get into trouble by having it in its more difficult later stages for longer, and by taking a bunch of damage trying to fight it, because it's more dangerous when you're near it. Whereas if you have decided from the beginning that you're not going to fight it, you never put yourself at risk in that way. Alright, we're taking a lot of hits here. I need to be pretty careful in terms of getting health regeneration, but a regeneration potion and consumables are really giving us a lot of love here, and we will take the incendiary turret for sure. Alien Eyes I'm going to take. It's not a ton of damage for us, but every little bit helps when we're sort of struggling for wave clear like this. And then Energy Bracelet. I guess I'll take it. The 4% crit chance is moderately usable. 16% damage, I think, is still not as good as 5 regen for us, though. Power Generator is actually not terrible. Our speed has gotten pretty good despite being blunt weapons. I'm going to combine here and buy the Plasma Sledge, and then take Power Generator, take Weird Food, lock, and roll. Take a coffee as well, and then roll. And we'll take a Leather Vest. That's great. It'll give us both armor and dodge, which we need. Stone Skin, one of the better items we could find as well, because our maximum HP is not incredible. Could be higher. I don't even think this Plasma Sledgehammer is going to do that much damage, but it's such a fun item, and of course, it is a hammer. As always, when I do these challenges and buy a weapon that's not the first weapon that we bought, there will be people who believe that that is cheating, and they are welcome to believe that. The Pocket Factory has been pretty good. I wouldn't say it's been amazing, but we did find enough trees that it's helpful, and now our regeneration and luck and healing is all high enough that we're actually able to just tank through most enemies, because we have 40 regeneration. Tentacle will help as well. We only have 10% crit chance, but it's still pretty useful. I'm going to roll. I think we can do better. And here I will take 6% dodge. I could take the melee damage as well, but we're about to buy more dodge, and I think that will be the thing that helps us most. Let me roll, and I'll take another garden just to try to stay alive. Roll again. Rocket launchers are hammers, right? No, obviously we're not doing that, but the wolf helmet doesn't do anything for me either. Do one more reroll here and nothing else. Interesting, these two turrets spawn so far away from these. Normally you don't see engineer turrets spawn that far apart. It is funny we've found only incendiary turrets, which do not stack with one another very well. Obviously we'd prefer to have a mix of turrets, and given that we found double plastic explosive, one of the level 4 explosive turrets would have been incredible for this build. But as it happened, we were able to still get a lot of wave clear out of these incendiary turrets. I will say I'm disappointed at not having found that many actual hammers. Obviously the Plasma Sledgehammer is fun and is doing a lot of damage for us, a lot of wave clear, but it would feel better to me if we'd found more hammers. Let's just take 2 armor, I guess, at this point. And I'm going to take the 3% damage. I will roll. Cute Monkey is a reasonable way to heal, and then I will roll. Medical Turret can help keep us alive. Nothing here that we want, I don't think. I guess I could take Head Injury. I guess I'll take the helmet. 1 armor is going to be good. I really am looking for... I'm looking for hammers so that we can actually have enough hammers in our hammer build to call it a hammer build. And okay, fine. We'll be a Plasma Sledge build. I guess that's what these are, the hammers that the game gave me. So I will say that this run went much, much better than it had any right to be honest. We got extremely lucky with like the shop 1 fertilizer. And also with just not finding that many hammers, you know, when you have to buy hammer, it's spending a lot of money on things that don't really help your wave clear. But the shop one fertilizer plus the incendiary turret really gave us the income that we needed through the mid game. Just dodging a lot. Trying to fit in the gap there, but these buffed armored chargers are really starting to give me quite a lot of grief. I was thinking maybe we could kill the bosses, but my damage just wasn't quite high enough. So I did the thing I said you shouldn't do, and started trying to kill the bosses, but then decided in the middle that we couldn't. But we did make it through with only 70 max HP, which is honestly pretty remarkable, especially because we're like blunt weapon tag and everything. So we ended up with only finding 3 hammers throughout the course of that run, but that was still a pretty fun run. Honestly, when you get really lucky like that, this is a very satisfying way to play the engineer, because we ended up being able to use our constructs and everything while getting great defensive stats out of our blunt weapons and still doing quite a lot of damage with our hammers. Obviously, in the end game, the plasma sledgehammers did way more damage just because of their large explosion size, but they're still that did not make the difference between winning and losing for us, these plasma sledgehammers. By the time we bought them, the game was already won, because I just had so many defensive stats. We'd found the regeneration potion and everything. Once we found this regeneration potion, I feel like we were basically a lock. Obviously, I could have still lost, but with 2 gardens, 2 medical turrets, regeneration potion, and weird food and lemonade, we had a lot of healing in the end game, which is what we needed to find. I think that the big thing here, obviously, was finding the economy items early, ending with 167 harvesting. How much did the crown give us? Only 61, so crown was reasonable, but not amazing. I think it was worth like about 200 materials, cost us about 200 materials, so was definitely correct to buy, but wasn't like an all-star here. But what was an all-star was just the wave 1 fertilizer, which got us right off on the right foot, let our harvesting start growing really rapidly early. Made 216 off the recycling center, made 360 off the bag, because bag is, as always, the best item in the game. And the ugly tooth was also a pretty big deal to pick up early as well. So those are the decisions we made that I think made the biggest difference to winning this game. The baby elephant actually helped a lot with wave clear. And the rip and tear, yeah, 38,000 damage. It was fine. It wasn't incredible. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this challenge run with the engineer. I had a great time doing it, and I'm glad to have finally beaten another one of the runs that had previously bested me. We, like I said, took 2 tries at this before, and was not able to beat it, so now I finally have. There's only a couple more that I haven't actually managed to win so far, so you can look forward to those. And of course, as always, if you've enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a comment and like the video. Helps me out a ton with the algorithm. And you could subscribe to my channel for more of this and other strategy game content. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.